How to find out arithmetic mean in case of group data? If you have group data, then you can use the following formula to find the arithmetic mean. X bar is equal to summation of fx divided by n. So you have to be clear what each and every item denotes. Here the x is going to represent the midpoint of individual classes. Okay, so x is going to represent mixed point or midpoint of individual class. When I say individual class, it means you have the variables in the grouped form in the class interval form. Say something like 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30. So in such case, you have to find out the midpoint. The midpoint between 0 to 10 is 5. How did I got that? It is 0 plus 10 by 2. And the midpoint between 10 and 20 is actually 15. And how can I find that? It is 10 plus 20 divided by 2. 30 divided by 2, so it is 15. In that way we can find the midpoint. So that represents, or that is represented by x. Then the f represents the frequency of the individual class. Okay, because we are talking about the group data, the grouping of data arises because of frequency, and f represents frequency of individual class. So in how many number of times those variables are repeated, that's what we denote or we mean by individual class. Then you have n. What is n? N basically represents the sum of frequency. So here you have the frequency, right? And its sum is represented by n. And once you have all this data, you will be able to find the mean, that is when you have group data, and for that you have or you need this information. So let's take one simple example to understand that. Let's look at this example. This example is an example for group data, because here you have information about the marks and the number of students, but things are being grouped because there are 8 students who scored 64 marks. There are 18 students who scored 63, 12 students scoring 62 marks, 9 students scoring 61, 7 students scoring 60 marks, and 6 students scoring 59 marks. So in this scenario, how do you find the arithmetic mean? So in this scenario, you have to make use of the formula. What was the formula for finding arithmetic mean when you have the group data? When you have the group data, the formula for finding arithmetic mean x bar is nothing but summation of fx divided by n. That is, if you have the information in class interval form, then the x represents the midpoint. But here, this number of students basically represents your frequency, and here you don't have class interval, so the marks itself can be represented as x. So you have f, you have x, so you have to multiply f and x, so that would give you the numerator, and here the n represents the sum of frequency. So the number of students are your frequency here, so you have to sum the number of students so that you would be able to address this. So first what we'll do, we'll write the marks in a table form, then the students frequency. The students are represented by frequency, so I'll call it as f. The marks are going to be represented by x. So what are the marks? The marks are basically 64, 63, 62, 61, 60 and 59. And these number of students are basically 8, 18, 12, 9, 7, 6. So you have x and you have f. So what you have to find now is fx. Fx is nothing but the product of these two. So 64 into 8, you're going to get 512. 63 into 18, it is 1134. 62 into 12 is 744. 61 into 9 is 549. 60 into 7 is 420. And 59 into 6 is 354, and the total can be represented by summation of fx is equal to 3750. 13. And if you total this, that is nothing but your n. It can be a small or capital N, and that is 60. So you have both the information. Now you can find out your x bar is equal to 3713 divided by 60, and the value is 61.88. You can also have another formula that is called a shortcut based formula for finding the arithmetic mean when you have a group data. Okay, so shortcut based formula, and that formula will be like this: x bar is equal to the arbitrary number which you have to select from the variables plus summation of fd divided by n. So this a is nothing but the arbitrary number which you have to pick up from the variables, and summation of fd is nothing but f is multiplied with an item called d. So what is d? We have to define d. D is nothing but x minus a. D is nothing but x minus a, and a can be any number. A can be any number. So what we'll do here itself, we'll try to find out d, and then we'll try to find out fd, then we'll sum them. So to start with, we have to find out d. D is nothing but x minus a. That is, you have to pick an arbitrary number, that is a, and it can be from x. Let's say I'm going to pick up this number 62 as a. So d is nothing but x minus 62. So you have to subtract each and every item in x by this 62. So 64 minus 62, you are going to have d as 2. 63 minus 62, so you are going to have d as 1. So 62 minus 62, it is 0. 61 minus 62, and it is going to be minus 1, minus 2, minus 3. So this is going to be your d. And to complete this formula, you need fd, right? So that is, you have to multiply the frequency, that is f, with d. 8 into 2, 16, 18 into 1, 18, 12 into 0 is 0, 9 into minus 1 is minus 9, 7 into minus 2 is minus 14, 6 into minus 3 is minus 18. Now you have to sum this. If you sum this, you would get minus 7, and that is nothing but summation of fd. So summation of fd is equal to minus 7. Then you need what is n, right? You need what is n. N is nothing but what? Summation of your frequency. So this is your n. N is equal to 60. Then you should know what is a. Yeah, yes, we know it is 62. Now I think we can fit everything in the formula. Let's see. X bar is equal to a, which is 62, plus summation of fd, which is minus 7, divided by n, and n is 60. So 62 plus minus 7 divided by 60. So you are going to get some negative number in decimals, and that should be subtracted from 62, and you get the value as 61.88. So this is the value of mean using the shortcut method, and you can cross check. We have already calculated, yes, we have already calculated the mean using the direct formula, which is 61.88, and using the shortcut also you get the same value.